And in our top business story, trade volumes between Hungary and the UAE remains too low at $700 million, and the Joint Economic Cooperation Committee will seek to strengthen trade ties to reach $1.2 billion over the next few years. That's according to the UAE Minister of Economy, His Excellency Sultan bin Saeed Al Mansouri. The announcement was made during a press conference after the meeting of the Joint Economic Committee led by the UAE Minister of Economy, along with his counterpart Peter Szijjártó, Hungary's Minister for Foreign Affairs and Trade. The announcement comes a day after the Hungarian delegation announced that their export-import bank, Magyar, has launched a credit line of over $400 million to support the SME sectors, including both UAE and Hungarian companies working together. During the meeting, delegates discussed further cooperation in areas such as transport, food, agriculture, as well as clean energy. According to the UAE minister, among the main discussion points was to establish a logistics and transport hub for UAE airlines to operate out of Budapest and connecting what was described as the heart of Europe to the rest of the world, which would also lead to increased passenger numbers through the Dubai and Abu Dhabi airports. Following the first meeting of the committee in the UAE, His Excellency Al Mansouri added that regular meetings will be held to improve trade ties while honouring the partnership agreements between the two nations.
Looking at Hungary, geographical location is very important. It's the heart of Europe, and how we can reflect on creating similar kind of model in Budapest, especially that Budapest or Hungary in general now doesn't have a national airline. And Emirates airline is having a daily flight, but they are going even beyond that now in studying how they can hopefully develop also a logistics center. It could be for freight, it could be cargo for the whole of Central Europe. One of the areas that we see quite a potential is the import of food and food products from Hungary. They are actually an agricultural nation. They've been exporting to Europe in general, but now they discover our market, poultry and beef and in general meat, in general fruit products and many others seem to have quite an interest from our local importer here as a whole. And I think this is one area we will see an expansion of the trade between the two sides.
Aside from the aviation sector, the Hungarian delegation also revealed that they have implemented a $22 million agreement to export dairy products to the UAE. Furthermore, it was revealed that trade volumes between the two states had suffered following the pullout of Nokia from the Eastern European state, adding that such meetings and agreements should further enhance the level of trade between the two nations.
Our experience with Emirates is very good, since we have executed the investment of theirs regarding this SSC in Budapest very quickly, so from first negotiations within a very foreseeable time. So I understand that airlines are already planning their next schedule, so we have to come to an agreement as soon as possible. The negotiations between the professionals, between the experts, are going to be kicked off in a very, very near future. We have suffered a huge loss in 2013 and 14 regarding our bilateral trade, because Nokia pulled out from Hungary and Nokia products were exported from Hungary to UAE in a big volume. So we have to rebuild our trade currently, and we have to emphasize more the importance of small and medium enterprises, both sides. In order to be successful in that regard, we have launched a $406 million credit line at the Hungarian Exim Bank to facilitate the B2B cooperation between the two countries.
The UAE will urge OPEC members and non-OPEC producers to hold their oil production at January levels to stabilise global oil markets. His Excellency Suhail bin Mohammed Al Mazroui, the Minister of Energy, stated that the current talk about a significant short-term increase in production is neither realistic nor economically feasible. His Excellency added that the UAE will not act alone but will work with others and support the majority in any decision aimed to stabilise the oil market. The minister made these statements at a ceremony to launch the smart self-refueling service at petrol stations in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. Al Mazroui stated that the current demand for oil is not weak, but there is oversupply, and all producers should work in a serious manner to stabilise the oil market. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries has not officially called for an emergency meeting, the minister said, noting that there is talk about cooperation between OPEC members and non-OPEC countries. Telecom operator Du believes that new revenue streams from smart cities and data security could generate as much as 1 billion dirhams for the company by the end of the decade. Osman Sultan, Du's chief executive, was quoted in local reports as saying that beyond telco services such as data hosting would amount to 10% of the company's total revenue by 2020. Despite generating increasing revenue from selling data packages, foreign companies are earning less from fixed-line services as more people use Skype and other so-called voice-over internet protocol applications. As such, telecom operators such as Du are seeking alternative ways to make money to boost their profits and offer value to investors. Separately, Du proposed a total annual dividend payment of 43 fils per share last year, compared with 32 fils per share in 2014. And Middle East IT spending is projected to reach $212.9 billion in 2016, a 3.7% increase from 2015. And in 5 years, 1 million new devices worldwide will come online every hour. According to the latest forecast by Gartner, with devices representing close to 19% of total IT spending in the region, tablets and PCs are showing good momentum in the forecast period. It added that tablets and PC sales are forecast to reach nearly $8 billion in 2016 and surpass $10 billion in 2018. Mobile phone sales will grow from slightly above $30 billion in 2016 to nearly $37 billion in 2019. With IT services doubling software expenditures in 2016, business IT services will represent 84% of the total services segment. The data center segment market is forecast for relatively flat growth in 2016. This segment includes external network equipment, external controller-based storage, servers, and unified communications.